by removing the good, the bad, the right, the wrong, and stepping back and looking at it, you begin to see the world in a different light. One that is a happier place. But it's not about, we want to make it clear, it is not about removing judgment completely. It is not about your comments that you make. Those such as
the wall motions.
Good example.
For those listening, we've been known to make an occasional comment about the wall motions or well-dressed people at your local Walmart. Just in fun, and just amongst ourselves.
Part of the human condition. It is part of the human experience. So therefore, that is not the goal, as you say. But you will find that by doing so, it is a life-changing experience.
By
removing those judgments of good and bad, right and wrong. If you think about it, where does that line get drawn? Who decides what is wrong and what is right and what is good and what is bad? And that is something that only you can decide for yourself. So you have to begin to look at things as from an observation point. That is very difficult when you are in the physical. To step out of the situation and view it as an observer. When you remove those judgments from those situations or from those people, it becomes the natural stance for you to take, is to observe. You can see things clearer. When we observe something that someone close to us, it is okay. Is in a situation that you would consider bad. Try and look at that situation for a moment as if you are watching it on the news. You know how that is. Oh, that's too bad. Move on. It is a condition and a programming that you have all been through, so it is a difficult thing to catch yourself. But when you begin to realize that, how does that really affect you? That your friend or your loved one is in a situation you consider bad. Do they consider it bad? Where do they stand on it, and who does it really affect but them? That is not to say be selfish and not care, but simply to say, step back, you will see a bigger picture. That is hard, very difficult in the physical, and it takes much discipline. But you don't want to observe your conversations and analyze them every time you have one. That would be crazy. So, take baby steps. Take things that are not so close to you. Situations that somewhat ruffle you the wrong way, but you can look at it and walk away from it. Look at those from an observation point. It will be much easier, and you will slowly begin to gain that feeling.
Is it possible for an individual to be well aligned with source energy and to still do things, or perhaps even live an entire life doing things that most people would consider wrong or bad?
Of course it is.
And how does that play out?
You must understand that you are the center of your universe. Therefore, what you feel is right or wrong is all that really matters when you are enveloped into a situation or a as you said, a whole life of what society or what your fellow man dictates as wrong or views as wrong, perhaps in your mind it is absolutely the right thing to be doing. Perhaps there are other motives at play, but you are here on free will. You come forward to expand and to create. Creation does not happen simply by everybody doing the same thing. Does this make sense to you?
It does. Is it true that certain things are simply wrong? I mean, things like murder, child molestation.
I do not know, is it? What is it to you?
So, what are you
When
telling
you
me,
understand,
that we have set that goal, we have set that boundary societally, and that is where it lies?
It is difficult to be within your vortex and do those things. But when you understand, fully understand your purpose and why you have come here, those things become very small. Where do you draw the line? What can you forgive? And then what can you not forgive? You spoke with Bryan one day regarding there is a line for most people. I can forgive him for murdering her because he had a mental illness. But if he was a pedophile, you have crossed a line. So everybody has a line. It is up to you to decide if that is right or wrong. Do you believe that he or she will be judged and punished when they have croaked? Then maybe you can forgive easier than the person who believes there is nothing beyond. It is all up to you.
Well, that takes me to my next question, and it's like one that so many people believe in judgment. Is there any judgment after our deaths, as a general rule speaking? And using the same two examples as in my last question, those that are murderers, those that are child molesters, do they face any type of judgment for those actions after their death? Will they face any different experience as a result of those actions when they die? Or will their experience be exactly the same as those
that
who
I
are
have
not?
to admit was perfect timing.
The drunken smirk.
You must understand, if we were to be placed in a judgment, I'm afraid none of you would pass the test. You must understand that you will view your decisions and your choices from a different place. I do not mean a location, a different place in your consciousness. You will view it as an observer, and you will understand, and you will not. To try and explain to the physical that judgment is not something you will be facing is a very difficult thing. It has been ingrained in you forever. So
That was actually my next question. Why is it that so many people believe that they will be judged?
it keeps you in line. If there is consequences to be paid for your actions, then you will watch your actions. When the group over here that controls says, no, you will go to hell if you commit these sins, these crimes, okay, you believe it. It becomes ingrained, it becomes part of your culture and your history. It's in all of your books. You will be judged. It is a medium to control your behavior. It is that simple. It is slightly ridiculous in many ways, that you continue to follow these things. It is not as though you are 7 billion people wanting to kill every day. Society would not collapse as you know it. Most people in this group are afraid of individual power. It is much easier to control the masses when everybody believes the same thing. It is that simple.